Hi, I'm Adam. I'm one of the solution architects in the pre-sales team at Ingram Micro. My speciality is Cisco Enterprise Networking and all things Meraki. And what we're here to talk about today with my colleague Stephen, who is one of our specialists in disruptive technologies, is how Meraki can be used as a platform for those disruptive technologies. So Meraki have a wide range of products covering both network devices such as switches, firewalls and wireless access points. They also have a whole range of other products such as MV cameras, MT industrial sensors, which can be used to provide all kinds of analytics that your end customers can use to gain greater insight into what's happening in their environments or to give themselves business value. And that's really what Stephen's going to talk about. So what I'll do is hand over to Stephen and he can introduce himself properly and explain those and say what he's got to say.
Great, thanks Adam. Hello everybody, so yes, lots of acronyms, BDM for AI, IoT and RPA. So all of that together, actually what we're really talking about here is disruptive and emerging technologies and how this can sit on top of a Meraki platform. It's not as hard as you might think. So in the AI world, what we're talking really is computer vision, understanding what we see from an MV camera. In the IoT space, we have the Meraki Things set with the MT sensors. That's an ever-growing portfolio. And then into RPA, which is robotic process automation, which is another part of our business, which is really around removing repetitive manual tasks and in digital automation. All of that can feature because, of course, we're talking about processing data across a network. So all of these pieces really come together as long as you have that strength in foundation to start with, which is your piece.
Okay, that's the Meraki bit again.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, Meraki have a fairly comprehensive range of network products covering security appliances, switches and wireless access points. And you can use the wireless access points along with other Meraki products such as the cameras and the MT range as sensors to give you far more information and intelligence about the environment you're in. Meraki's journey from day one really has been about simplicity. And what Meraki are now doing is working with partners to simplify those complex topics of kind of AI and IoT. And that's really where Stephen comes in. He's kind of our AI and IoT mythbuster. Really, he's going to explain how you can work with Ingram Micro and those ecosystem partners to improve your lot.
Absolutely, and the myth busting I think is really important. Thanks, Adam. And the reason is that this is just another suite of Meraki products that we know a lot of time and effort has gone in, and arguably even late to market to bring a camera. But the difference being it's so simple to deploy. It's just another device to add into the dashboard. And what we're here to do really is to blow away some of those cobwebs and bust some myths around why shouldn't someone who's experienced with the rest of the Meraki portfolio from MX, MS, MR move into MV and MT. Some of those challenges we're finding is very much around that myth of IoT. It's an endless world. Does it actually solve one particular use case by itself? And arguably the answers to that are often no. So what we do here at Ingram Micro and part of the Disruptive Technologies business unit that I'm part of is to look at bringing all of these little pieces together, and often that's including a Meraki technology marketplace software vendor who takes the platform and the foundation of the Meraki platform, looking at the data. How can we take that? How can we turn that to give some actionable insights on what we're learning and have an output to it? So for example, I want to know if someone is wearing the safety glasses or the right hard hat on a building site before we allow them into that particular environment. We can do that not just with the camera, which sets us up for processing at the edge, take advantage of the cloud, but also the MT sensors to understand whether someone's going into a location or not, or there's a water leak or any of those other pieces that it does. And ultimately with the Meraki technology partner that we have here to support this platform within the Ingram Micro community is to help you guys understand if we have this as an ecosystem, we've got everything we need to take to your customers and say, actually, I can solve that one problem for you, and we can do it in a simple way. So it comes really full circle back to saying, is this going to be hard for us? Is it hard to take it to market? And these are some of the things we're going to talk about today.
Now, given the kind of increasing reliance on IT we're seeing nowadays and the way the world has become interesting since kind of March of last year, What kind of opportunities are you working on today?
Yeah, it's good. And of course, it's a key thing for everyone watching this today to understand, okay, where's my opportunity right now to go and explore what we can do with computer vision and AI and IoT. So I'll give you 3 examples. The first one is in transportation in the public sector, and it can start small and scale very quickly because of the way that this works on the Meraki platform. So what we've done here is deploy MV cameras with MG gateways on lampposts, and this data is basically tracking traffic and cars, reading number plates, so that we can understand where is this car travelling to and from. And this isn't around speed limits and this kind of thing. This is just understanding the flow of traffic because there are new towns being built in this particular area. So whether there's a large new housing estate going up or there's actually a new town being built, then the planners want to know, what does traffic look like now? Where is traffic going to route? Is it going to go steaming through tiny little villages, including all the HGV traffic? Why don't we start monitoring that data? One of the nice things about this, it can be a long-term project. So this could be a 4, 6, 8, 10 year, or in Meraki terms, 1, 3, 5, 10.
It's a 7 as well.
And a 7, the missing 7. But these kind of term opportunities are quite interesting because this is about collecting data, crunching the numbers and saying, I also need to get access to that data as an end consumer. So in this particular case, if we look at a county council, we'll say, this is great, you can do the edge processing, you can process the physical data across the Meraki network, use the technology partner to build me some custom dashboarding, which we can do with the partners we have today. But we also want API access to that computed data and then compare that with the records that we have already around what's being built and where and traffic flows. And having this flexibility of being able to collect, process, act, and then share the data is really a key part of this whole IoT ecosystem. So that's one in transportation. In retail, a really simple use case, which is customer not present, is what it's called. So, for example, anywhere where there's a retail store, and it could be a high volume, high traffic store, anywhere where there's a cashier processing a refund, we can do the simplest thing in the world with a camera overseeing that cashier place. Is there a customer there? Yes or no? And that's using the algorithm detection of a person. Is there a person present? What we can then do is, we've got a time and date stamp. We can compare that record with a pull of data from the POS. It could be daily. It doesn't even need to be real time. And we can do a time and date comparison and say, was there a customer present when that return was done? Let's have a look at the Meraki footage. We can automate all of that to go off and come back and tell us, yes, there was a customer present at 98% of all of those returns or gift card activations or whatever it is. But we've identified 2 or 3 that are questionable. And it could be the customer's way out of shot and walking around the shop doing their shopping while somebody's processing. But we don't need to look at all of the footage. We can let the MV do the work and the technology partner do all the processing of that data. And then the third opportunity is another simple one, which is taking the MV camera and the MT sensor, in this case the MT20 that we've been deploying, and we're putting them not in server rooms, but actually just server cabinets. So where there's technology that is restricted access to engineers like yourself, Adam, to go and play with and press buttons and move cables.
Wouldn't let me do that.
We don't want too many people to do that. So in this particular case, the end customer wanted to say, if that cabinet door is opened, it's in a public space. They've got some in factories, warehousing, some in offices, shared offices. As soon as that door is opened, MT20 trigger, activate effectively the MV camera and show me exactly what's going on there. Send me a Teams message, it could be Slack, it could be whatever kind of notification you want, and show me that door's been opened. And of course you can set it after hours. You can also use the light sensor, the lux sensor built into the MV camera, and say, if it's dark, always show me, always give me a push notification when the server cabinet's magically been opened. Or perhaps it is access into the server room or into one of the manager's offices. Show me who it is. We can then go one stage further. In fact, there's 2 stages. One is facial analysis. So it could be that I need to know that Adam Hickin is an authorised person to move Cat5 cables around. Great, so why doesn't the camera do that? We can use a partner like VApp to process the image of the IT guys that are actually on record. And we can say, well, we recognise Adam, so that's fine, don't send an alert to anybody. However, if it's Stephen going in there and starts moving cables, I think we'd want to know about it. So you can set the rules, and this is all around automating it.
So are we kind of getting into the smart building territory here?
Absolutely. Nice spot.
I'm not a techie for nothing.
Yeah, exactly that. So it is. In that case, this is just understanding who is gaining access to somewhere. But the smart building market is moving really quickly. And if you've been seeing the news recently, there's a whole drive for air quality monitoring as well. So understanding temperature, humidity, carbon monoxide, air quality has now become a feature in every school. So it's now a requirement. So that's something else that we look after here at Ingram and can support you with, is this whole air quality monitoring, secure access. And even with secure access, we can go one stage further with access control. So electrical locks on doors that are triggered based on who you are, time of arrival, are you the person you say you are, do you have the right two-factor authentication with an RFID card in your hand. There's lots of different ways of making sure the right people get access to the right place, but when they do, what's the working environment like? And the air quality monitoring is key now because we're into hot desking. So if we're going to look at hot desking in a smart building, the easiest way, computer vision. I can see a huge area very easily, and we can zone up in different spaces, and we can see utilization of any of those spaces at any time. And we can run the numbers and say, interestingly, when we hot desk in an open office, 70% of the desks are used on a Wednesday, 10% on a Thursday, and for some reason, everybody sits on the left. Why is that? Because it's by the windows and it's got a really nice view of their favourite cafe. So what does that mean is we could divide that part of the office, turn the other side into a meeting room. Who knows? We could also do counts in meeting rooms as part of a smart office. So again, perhaps with an MV32 camera on the ceiling, we can very easily have that fisheye lens, watch and count the number of people coming in and out, and realise that we've got 12 seats in the boardroom, but we only ever seat 3 or 4 in there. Again, cost of a stud wall, we've got ourselves 2 meeting rooms rather than 1. But we'd have the data to base it on. So this is about data-based decisions, not so much gut feel.
That all sounds really interesting. Can you show us it?
Yeah, let me show you some examples now.
Okay, so if that sounds like something that you want to explore with your customers and see what opportunities are available out there, please feel free to get in touch with Stephen and myself, and we'll see how we can help you on that journey. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.